Good morning, and welcome to the Boulder Valley Unitarian Universalist Fellowship. Aren't we glad this sanctuary is well heated this morning? I'm Eric Williams. My pronouns are he, him, and I'm joined today by Service Associate Mary Stackpole. Today's music is provided by Julie Morris on piano and Amy Austin, hymn leader. Today's indispensable tech team is Larry Sherwood, Deborah Dixon-Mensch, and Kathy Partridge on Zoom. This morning, I invite you to really open yourselves to these welcome words because they embody the spirit of this fellowship. You are all welcome here today. In all the beauty of languages, cultures, skin tones, shapes and sizes, gifts and challenges that come together in your unique beauty, you are welcome here. In all the ways you express and experience gender, you are welcome here. Whoever you love and however you love, you are welcome here. In all the ways you make your living and all the places you are from, you are welcome here. With all the traditions that inform your spiritual life, you are welcome here today. No matter how long you are away, nor how soon you will return, you are always welcome here. Whether your soul needs support or you arrive ready to lift others up, you are invited to join us with a curious mind, a loving heart, and a willing spirit. We welcome you today.
We commit ourselves to being a center for spiritual exploration and justice making, and to anti-racism and anti-oppression work within and beyond our congregation. If you're new here, we are glad you found us and hope that in this community, whether you're with us in person or virtually, you can experience the warmth and love of this congregation. Many Sundays follow unexpected and comforting pattern that includes beautiful music, readings, reflections, and rituals. But some Sundays are a little different, perhaps today included. We invite you to come back a few times to get to know us and how we honor the many different ways in which we can experience and express spirituality. We have many opportunities during the week for social connection and spiritual growth. Those on Zoom can check out the links in the chat to help you get connected. And those in person can stop by the welcome table in our foyer. Everyone on Zoom is welcome to stay for casual conversation following the service, and everyone here will be most welcome at our coffee hour in the fellowship hall. If you're joining us on Zoom, please feel free to greet each other in the Zoom chat. If you're a newcomer on Zoom, let us know so we can greet you. We love to know who's among us. And for those of you in the sanctuary, take a moment to greet your neighbor. If you have a chalice at home, you can light it with us as we light our fellowship chalice. So we know where all the chalices are. Please write in the chat, chalice lit in, and the name of your town. Please say the words along with me as we light our chalice. We light this chalice for the warmth of love, the light of truth, and the energy of action. And now I'll sing our bowl once again, inviting you to follow the sound of the bowl into a minute of silence.
Thank you. We gather at this fellowship on Sunday mornings for all kinds of reasons. To be together, to rest a while from the daily grind, to celebrate and to grieve. Today, just 3 days after the big American holiday of Thanksgiving, we come to give thanks for the bounty in our lives. But some of us, perhaps many of us, also bring an uninvited guest with us, our inner critic, that unwelcome, unkind naysayer who lives in us whether we like it or not. This morning, we'll focus a healing beam of light on those voices that thrive in darkness. As we continue our monthly theme of generosity, we'll focus on being generous to ourselves. Mary will lead us in a meditation of light, and we hope the music too will add to our peace. None of our lives are easy, but this morning, let's rest in the grace of this hour. You are safe. You are loved. And we are here to make the best of it. And that brings me to one of my favorite poems by David Budbill called Bugs in a Bowl. Han Shan, that great and crazy, wonder-filled Chinese poet of 1,000 years ago, said, "We're just like bugs in a bowl, all day going around, never leaving their bowl." I say, that's right. Every day, climbing up the steep side, sliding back down, over and over again, around and around, up and back down. Sit in the bottom of the bowl, head in your hands, cry, moan, feel sorry for yourself, or look around. See your fellow bugs. Walk around. Say, "Hey, how you doing?" Say, "Hey, nice bowl."
Good morning again with sound. My name is Mary Stackpole, and I use she, her pronouns. As I began to reflect on what to share today, I happened to pay attention to my own inner dialogue.
Maybe you should stick with AV where you're more comfortable.
Are you sure you're creative enough for this? Singing is easier. The words are already there for you.
All eyes are on you. Don't choke up now.
Oh man, this is gonna be boring.
Seriously, what on earth could your simple life have to offer the rest of us?
I hope you don't make a fool of yourself.
Stop! Why? Why am I so critical of myself? I imagine I'm not the only one who has a rather loud, obnoxious, inner mean girl that doubts me at every turn. Why can it be so easy to offer a compliment to a friend, or a smile to a stranger, or a word of encouragement to a child? But it can seem near impossible to simply tell myself, "You are enough." How can I honor the worth and dignity of every being without truly accepting the inherent worth and dignity of myself? No strings attached, no goals have to be reached, no promotions made, no races run. Nothing has to be created or sold. Enough, just as I am, here, today. In this month of generosity, I knew I could not offer any words encouraging this community to give more to others. You already give so much. I am humbled by how incredibly generous this community is. But I thought perhaps there may be someone who could bear to hear a message of generosity to themselves. After all, one cannot pour from an empty cup. So I invite you today to settle in, get cozy. Come join us. Find a comfortable spot in your chair or come stretch out, lie down up front. Feel free to move or change positions throughout the service. Before the busy winter season begins in full force and we pour out our generosity to friends, family, community, and strangers alike, let's today be generous to ourselves and fill our cups together.
We're going to sing from the Teal hymnal this morning, and the number is 1053. The song is, "How Could Anyone?" The first line goes, "How could anyone ever tell you you're anything less than beautiful?" And I know that when I sing this song, I often focus on the people in my life who either I feel need to have that message or who I just want to deliver that message to. But this morning, I'm going to ask you to sing this song to yourself. Again, Teal hymnal number 1053. Would you please rise in body or spirit? How could anyone ever tell you you were anything less than beautiful? How could anyone ever tell you you were less than whole? How could anyone fail to notice that your loving is a miracle? How deeply you're connected to my soul. How could anyone ever tell you you were anything less than beautiful? How could anyone ever tell you you were less than whole? How could anyone fail to notice that your loving is a miracle? How deeply you're connected to my soul.
How could anyone ever tell you that you are less than whole? Probably no one but ourselves would ever say such a cruel thing. Yeah. My own voice of doubt and shame is asking me right now, how dare I stand here and give advice about loving myself and being both inwardly and outwardly generous when I don't really practice what I am now literally preaching? And in this internal monologue, in this internal dialogue, I respond with, okay, just calm down a minute. I'm not giving advice, okay? I'm not pretending to be more than I am. I'm just going to talk a little about the interesting things I found as I researched this topic. I'm just picking up some shiny objects and bringing them back to the nest. I should explain here that I've come to see my inner critic as a crow, noisy, persistent, and possessing a very sharp beak. But I did find some shiny objects to share with you. Here's one. I listened to a Thai monk named Nick Kyomahavong explain that generosity is one of the pillars of Buddhism. Monks and practitioners try to bring deep mindfulness to their daily acts of generosity, including each meal they receive or give. I learned that in this mindfulness, ideally, both parties should feel proud and blissful before, during, and after giving. Eventually, you can feel the good deeds purifying you, and if you work at it, you can use the natural benefits of giving to feel bright and pure, and to build merit so that eventually one can sleep in a sea of merit, knowing your life benefits others. I think that's beautiful. I just love those phrases, feeling bright and proud and sleeping in a sea of merit. There are many other ways in Buddhism to gain merit through generosity, like being a good listener and giving respectful attention to someone when they're speaking. And above all, offering wisdom in your words and behavior, acting with kindness, speaking truthfully, and always considering the greater good of all. But wouldn't it be wonderful, wouldn't it be really wonderful if we could apply this mindfulness of giving to ourselves, to not only be kind and generous to ourselves, but to feel bright and pure because of the way we love ourselves. So the kinder we are to ourselves, the more merit we gain until we too can sleep in a sea of merit. Sounds like a healthy feedback loop to me. Not surprisingly, many learned Western people take a more scientific approach to finding the benefits of giving by measuring blood pressure, stomach acid, cholesterol levels, and the release of endorphins to produce the helper's high. But I think that's just proving the obvious. I would prefer to simply quote Gandhi, "The fragrance remains in the hand that gives the rose." That was my second shiny object. And here's the next one. The author Mark Nepo, in his meditative work, The Book of Awakening, writes, "The same kind of commitment we make to begin a marriage, we can make internally as devotion to the care of one's own soul. We can pledge to have and to hold for better or for worse in sickness and in health, to love and to cherish ourselves." He continues, "This means staying committed to your inner path. This means accepting, even embracing your faults and limitations. It means cherishing the unchangeable radiance that lives within you, to marry one's soul." He goes on to point out the nautical definition of to marry is to join two pieces of rope together by interweaving their strands. To marry one's soul suggests we interweave the life of our heart with the life of our mind. And just as two ropes that are married create a tie that is twice as strong, when we marry our humanness to our spirit, we create a life that is doubly strong in the world. Mark Nepo's words of staying committed to your inner path and your unchangeable radiance remind me strongly of this familiar William Stafford poem, my final shiny object this morning, The Way It Is. There's a thread you follow. It goes among things that change, but it doesn't change. People wonder what you are pursuing. You have to explain about the thread, but it's hard for others to see. Tragedies happen. People get hurt or die. You suffer and get old. Nothing you do can stop time's unfolding. You never let go of the thread. So this is how we can be generous to ourselves and maybe even tame our noisy inner corvid. You don't ever let go of the thread of loving and trusting the unchangeable radiance within you. Namaste. May it be so. And while we're on the subject of generosity, each week we remind ourselves of the abundance of our lives in this community by giving half our plate away to those organizations that share our values. Today, the half plate is for Doctors Without Borders, also known by the French acronym MSF. You see how I cleverly avoided saying the French there? MSF is an independent and impartial medical humanitarian charity organization supported by donations only, and they are incredibly brave. They provide medical care with empathy and compassion to all patients, regardless of their race, religion, ethnicity, or politics. They're active in Gaza, Afghanistan, Sudan, Haiti, and 70 other countries. Your donation today helps them to continue to provide medical care where the needs are the greatest. If you'd like to donate directly, go to donate.doctorswithoutborders.org. You can text your donation at the number on the screen, or if you're at the fellowship today, place a donation in the offering plate as it passes. Since our theme today is generosity, please apply it here to this most worthy cause. During the offertory, we encourage you to turn to a neighbor and offer a compliment, a word of encouragement, or simply gratitude for their presence. For those on Zoom, we ask you to flood the chat with words of gratitude and self-love. for the work of this fellowship, bringing love, reason, truth, and justice to the world, and for Doctors Without Borders, we dedicate these offerings. Thank you.
Next, we're going to move into a short guided meditation. And again, I invite you, if you would like, to come and join on the floor on a mat or a cushion. As we all find a comfortable position, let's take a few deep breaths and let your body settle in. If you feel comfortable doing so, let your eyes gently close, or simply soften your gaze and let your mind calm. Picture in front of you a bright, warm, glowing sphere of light. Picture the color of the sphere. It's a color that is unique to you, unique to this day. A color that feels calm and soothing, maybe a deep burgundy, perhaps a calming green, or even a brilliant white. See the color in your mind and feel the warmth it has to offer you. As your body settles, your sphere of light glides gently towards you and rests directly over your head. It is welcome there, and you feel the soft heat it radiates. And then, to your delight, the sphere gently opens and begins to pour its warmth into the top of your head. Slowly, this light travels from your head through your body all the way down to your feet, leaving warmth everywhere it flows. You feel it first fill your toes, creating a gentle tingle as it warms and soothes. The light continues to fill you, and you feel the warmth in the bottom of your feet. As the light fills and reaches your ankles, perhaps you give them a gentle wiggle to let it reach all the tiny crevices, letting its glow soothe away any stress in that well-used joint. Next, it reaches up through your calves, and your legs become heavy, settling and resting in the comfort it brings. You feel the light move up past your knees and into your thighs, and you notice as your lower body begins to gently glow in that same special color, unique to you. The warmth fills your waist and stomach, giving you the sensation of finishing your most loved comfort meal. It fills your chest and makes its way to your shoulders, and then it spills down into your arms. It reaches all the way to your fingertips, and they feel the warmth and relax. Your arms sink down and come to a gentle rest wherever they lie. The light moves up through your neck, and you feel those tightened muscles relax as the heat melts away tension and stress. And as the light reaches the top of your head, your perspective shifts to just outside of your body. You see yourself now, glowing in that color, unique to you, radiating light and comfort filled to the brim and ready to share your own unique warmth to the world. And last, your perspective moves even further out, and you see all around you other bodies glowing in all the colors of the rainbow, each offering a unique sense of comfort and warmth and love. And now, as the music begins, and you gently come back into this space, take a moment to move and stretch and feel that warmth all through your body.
And now I invite us into our time of community connection, our time of sacred sharing. If you're on Zoom and you'd like to share a joy or concern, please type it into the chat window, sending it to everyone, and let us know briefly what is in your heart today. I will read out what you share, and Mary will add a stone to our sacred waters on your behalf. If you're in the sanctuary today, you can come up front, share your joy or concern using the microphone, holding it straight out in front of you because that's the way it works, and add a stone to the waters. Or you can add a stone in silence. Wherever you are, please tell us your name and where you live when you share. All right, and as I was saying, one last stone for any joys and concerns that remain in the silent sanctuary of our hearts, knowing that even in our silence, we're bound together in the web of life. My community, the joys and concerns we share today are a sacred trust between us. And we are honored by that trust we give to each other. This morning, I pray to the power of love in the universe that we continue to open our hearts to each other, as we also open our hearts to ourselves, to our unchangeable radiance, to the thread we must follow. This Monday, many people honored Transgender Day of Remembrance, when we remember those who have been murdered for being who they are, those who face violence on a daily basis, those who have lost loved ones, and those who worry for loved ones. May we come to a time when we cease to shame children around gender roles and expression, when we allow for freedom and exploration of identity and expression. We call for a world that operates from love, especially when things are difficult and confusing. May all of us who live with the threat of violence find support, strength, community, hope, and safety from violence. May this be our prayer. Amen.
Again, fitting with our theme of generosity, we have a generous number of announcements to share with you today. Our annual Hanging of the Greens is happening this coming Saturday, December 2nd. If you want to join the merriment, be at the fellowship at 10 a.m. to help decorate for the holidays. We plan on having cider and treats for all of you who come to help. Karen Griglak is supplying the food, so please let her know if you will be there. You can email Karen from the link in Connections Weekly or in the Zoom chat. Again, this is happening this coming Saturday at 10 a.m. And then once our halls are greened, be sure to come back to the fellowship at 7:30 for a beautiful multimedia concert from UU singer-songwriter and composer Jim Scott, the composer of Gather Us In, May Your Life Be As a Song, and other favorite songs in our hymnals. His concert is called The Longest Night, Solstice and Midwinter Celebrations Around the World. In this time of shortest days and long dark nights, the human family has always turned to story and song. With Jim's own songs, along with those of many ethnicities, we travel the world, sing and rejoice in many ways. From ancient times, welcoming back the sun and the rebirth of spring, made for celebrations of the spirit in every society. Honoring pagan gods and goddesses, heavenly signs and heralded births from Zoroaster to Jesus, deities from Nanabaluka to Yamaya, heroes and saviors, both fabled and true, from St. Lucia to St. Nicholas. These songs are sung and the stories retold to help us remember our place in the human chain. Again, that's Saturday, December 2nd at 7:30. No ticket required, but a free will offering will be taken. There's no Inquirer sessions after the service today. Our Path to Membership class will convene after the service on December 10th. Those interested in the Path to Membership can get more information at the welcome desk or in our weekly newsletter. Those on Zoom can contact Rosemary Arp, whose address will be in the chat. Our Spring Inquirer series will start in late January. We have cards available I believe in the foyer, to sign for members that have had a difficult year or members and staff that have moved. They will be in the foyer for the next 2 Sundays, so please stop by and sign them. And last, next Sunday, December 3rd, we're having a playful all-ages holiday party at 12:15. Check your email or check out the flyer on the bulletin board in the foyer for more information. And now we will extinguish our fellowship chalice. As Eric extinguishes our chalice, please say the words along with me. We extinguish this chalice, but not the warmth of love, the light of truth, nor the energy of action. These we carry in our hearts until we meet again.
All right. Let's all rise, if you are willing and able. Join hands, link arms, or cross your arms if you prefer not to be touched, which is very understandable. My fellow travelers on our blue boat home, may gratitude companion you. May compassion embolden you. May you know that you have an unchangeable radiance just the way you are. As we leave today, let us be warmed by a spirit of peace and generosity. We're going to need it out there because it's cold. Amen.